Early this morning, a senior representative of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard made a statement that does not appear on the front pages of German newspapers, even though it may be the most important declaration of this war in weeks. He did not say that the likelihood of a new war is low because negotiations are underway. He did not say the probability is low because a deal is close. He said the likelihood of war is low because of the enemy's weakness. Because of the enemy's weakness. Not diplomacy, not compromise, not mutual concessions. Weakness. In the language of geopolitics, that word represents the sharpest possible statement a military actor can make about an opponent, and today it was spoken publicly and directly by an IRGC commander about America without any euphemisms. At the same time, while Iran publicly describes America as weak, Germany's leading economic advisors are lowering their growth forecast for the German economy. Their explanation is that the Iran war and the resulting sharp rise in crude oil and gas prices are weighing on economic development. Think about that for a moment. America is being described as weak by Iran, Germany is paying the price, and mainstream media report both stories as separate events without connecting them. That is the connection Nexus Report is drawing today. Stay tuned. Facts first, analysis afterward. Let us separate the facts from the hysterical panic narrative. ARD, ZDF, and CNN describe the IRGC statement as a side note, as military rhetoric, as propaganda that should not be taken too seriously. And they report the advisor's assessment as a dry economic story, without the context that makes those numbers truly meaningful. Both interpretations miss the central point. The IRGC statement is not propaganda. It is strategic communication, carefully calculated, aimed at a specific audience with a clear message. And the report from the economic advisors is not merely a dry statistic. It is measurable evidence that this war, conducted by America and Israel, thousands of kilometers away from Germany, is pushing Europe's largest economy into a growth crisis. Let us begin with the IRGC statement. Who made it? A senior representative of the Revolutionary Guard Navy, confirmed by Tasnim News Agency, the official news agency of the IRGC, and by the live blog of ZDF from May 27, 2026. This is not an anonymous source. It is an official statement by a high-ranking Iranian military commander published through the state's own media agency. Why is that so important? Because official statements delivered through state channels in authoritarian systems do not happen spontaneously. They are authorized, approved, and strategically timed. This statement was made today, on a day when negotiations are ongoing, when the world is waiting for a possible deal, and when Donald Trump is complaining on Truth Social about the weakness of the negotiations. That is not coincidence. It is signaling. Subscribe to Nexus Report now. I am not a young influencer with colorful graphics. I am someone who has observed this world for decades. Conflicts, diplomacy, and the decisions that never reach the main headlines. That is exactly why you find analyses here that you cannot get anywhere else. Your subscription gives me the reason to dig even deeper, to look even more closely, and to deliver an even stronger analysis tomorrow. Tell me in the comments which country you are watching from. That shows me this analysis is reaching the places it needs to reach. Now for the deeper analysis. Who is this signal directed toward? Audience 1. The domestic population. After 88 days of war, after thousands of deaths, after economic damage, and after the loss of the old leader, the Iranian public needs a message of strength. The message is, we did not lose, we won. The enemy is weak, and we are still standing. This is domestic stabilization messaging at the highest level. Audience 2. The Arab Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. Countries that have historically viewed America as their security guarantor. This statement tells them, your protector is weak, Iran is strong. Reconsider your alliances. It is a direct message to Riyadh and Abu Dhabi, which have been balancing between Washington and Tehran for weeks. Audience 3. China and Russia, the two powers that have supported Iran diplomatically and economically during this war. The message is, your support worked. America has been pushed back. We are the new force in this region. Audience 4. Washington. And this is the most important message. The IRGC is publicly telling Trump, "You fought an 88-day war and failed to defeat us. That makes you weak, not us. And if you now want a deal, then come to us not as a victor, but as someone who has recognized his limits." That is the language of geopolitics, and it is the harshest language a military actor can use. Now to the decisive question. Is the IRGC correct? Let me answer that analytically, not emotionally, not politically, but with the facts. What has America achieved militarily in 88 days? Objective 1. Permanently destroy the nuclear program. Not achieved. Fordo fuel enrichment plant remains intact according to assessments by Western intelligence experts. The scientists are alive. The knowledge still exists. Objective 2. Regime change through destabilization. Not achieved. The regime has installed a new leader. The institutions continue functioning. The IRGC remains intact and communicates aggressively. Objective 3. Permanently open the Strait of Hormuz. Not achieved. Iran still controls who passes through. Transit fees are still being collected. Western ships continue operating under risk. Objective 4. Force Iran into capitulation. Not achieved. Today, the IRGC publicly declares that America is weak. None of the 4 primary objectives were achieved, and that is the basis on which the IRGC makes its statement. It is not propaganda in the sense of a lie. It is an analytical assessment that aligns with the available facts. America deployed the world's strongest military power and still failed to achieve its core objectives within 88 days. In the strategic logic of the 21st century, that is a form of weakness, not military weakness. America still possesses more bombs than any other nation on Earth, but strategic weakness, the inability to translate military superiority into political outcomes. That is the paradox of American military strategy since the Vietnam War, and Iran has understood it and publicly articulated it. Now to the second major topic of today, the report from Germany's economic advisors. The economic advisors, officially known as the German Council of Economic Experts, are Germany's most important independent economic body. 5 economists nominated by the federal government and parliament who issue annual and interim analyses when necessary. Their statement today is unequivocal. The Iran war and the resulting sharp increase in crude oil and gas prices are burdening economic development. What does that mean in concrete figures? Germany imports around 2.1 million barrels of crude oil per day. At a price level of $100 instead of the usual $70 to $75, that means additional costs of roughly 52 to 63 million euros per day for crude oil alone. Over the course of a year, that amounts to more than 20 billion euros in additional crude oil expenses alone. On top of that come rising gas prices. After the end of Russian gas deliveries in 2022, Germany shifted heavily toward LNG imports, many of them from the Middle East and from Qatar. The instability in the Strait of Hormuz is also driving LNG prices higher. According to estimates by the German Association of Energy and Water Industries, the additional gas costs amount to another 8 to 12 billion euros per year. Altogether, that is more than 30 billion euros in extra pressure on the German economy each year if the crisis continues. The Business Climate Index stands at 84.4 points. That is the lowest level since the COVID crisis. The European Commission has lowered Germany's growth forecast to between 0.3 and 0.4%, and the economic advisors, the most independent and respected body on this issue, confirmed today that the Iran war is the main driver of this economic weakness. For every viewer in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, that means the next energy bill, the next tank of fuel, and the next supermarket purchase.